Now that we've moved out of the city to the country, I've started saying y'all. Funny how that happens. Here's an update on how things are progressing on our homestead. We are 2.5 years into our homesteading journey, and things are going better than ever. We are finally starting to feel like official homesteaders. We now have over 200 animals, and we've been breeding and selling quail, chickens, ducks, rabbits, sheep, goats, and of course, eggs. We're not making enough money to quit my day job yet, but we are slowly getting there. Maybe someday. So we've added more fencing to create several separate areas for sheep and goats and built a big barn with 8 stalls for mamas and babies. We also bought 6 new chicken tractors and have added a couple of new kinds of chickens to the mix. We started off with a mix of cinnamon queens, Plymouth Barred Rocks, and Roundheads. And now we also have Buff Orpingtons, Rhode Island Reds, and Easter Eggers. Those are the ones with the green eggs. So they have all started to lay again now that the weather's warming up, and we are incubating eggs like crazy. We still sell eggs while the incubator's full, but chicks are proving to be much more lucrative than selling eggs. I can sell a dozen eggs for $4, but if I take those same 12 eggs, throw them in the incubator, I can get $4 each for the chicks. And besides, incubating eggs is so much fun. Now, the most magical thing to happen on our homestead is baby goats. These were the first baby goats born on the farm so far. And we were really nervous about the upcoming births. We've heard a lot of horror stories about complications, and we did experience a complication with our very first birth. This was a mama goat who was pregnant when we bought her, and she was probably too young to be bred, and she wasn't able to dilate enough to pass the baby. So I actually had to go in and assist, but the baby was stillborn, and so that was really, really sad. But since then, we've had 9 healthy goat babies with no problems at all, and they are simply the cutest, sweetest creatures on the entire planet, and we are head over heels in love with them. They are 9 weeks old now, and they're jumping and playing all over the pasture. We've already sold a couple, and we're keeping 3 females, 2 males, and then weathering another male. We haven't tried milking the mamas yet, and we may just wait until the next round of babies to start doing that, because our schedules are just too full right now to add another twice daily chore. And last week, one of our mama sheep had babies, so those were our first baby lambs. And we've got 1 more pregnant sheep, so more babies on the way soon. We just got all of our seeds for our 2024 garden, so we will start planting soon. Last year, we sold our vegetables to a local farmer's market, and we'll be stepping up our production for them this year, growing tomatoes and beans. And speaking of our local farmers market, here is our biggest news yet. Now, you may have noticed this big red building in a lot of our pictures. It's not a barn. It wasn't even our building. There's this little chunk cut out of the corner of our property where this building sits. And when we moved here, it was actually a Mexican restaurant, of all things, out in the middle of the country, owned and run by this little Puerto Rican lady who we became friends with. And so, long story short, she decided to sell it, and we made an offer, and she accepted. And so on December 31st, 2023, we bought the Spicy Tomatoes restaurant. Now, it was a total God thing. We knew we were supposed to get it, but we had no idea what we were supposed to do with it. Craig and I certainly don't want to run a restaurant. So the first thing we did was talk to the farmers market people who were buying our vegetables to see if they wanted to move into the building. They had been setting up shop in a gas station parking lot outside under a shelter in all of the weather in the heat in the middle of the summer. So understandably, they were very excited about the opportunity of moving indoors to our building with the air conditioning. So they are all moved in, and they are opening up for the season next week. And we're also going to do what we're calling Saturday markets every week that Craig and I are going to be running, where we open it up to all different kinds of local vendors. We're very excited about this. We've already connected with a lot of different vendors, and we will let you know how that goes. The final piece of the puzzle was what to do with this full commercial kitchen. So we rented it out to a lady who is opening up a takeout restaurant for breakfast, crafted coffees, and barbecue. It's opening April 1st, next week. So Craig and I have spent the past 3 months cleaning, scrubbing, painting, and fixing everything in this building for our grand opening, which is next week. So, wow. Things have changed a lot since our last update. And if you are anywhere in the Branson, Missouri area, please come visit us at the Blue Eye Market. So there's our update for March 2024. These first 2.5 years have been really challenging. We had to figure out everything. We knew how to garden, but we never even owned a single chicken before we moved here. We lived in the city. Now, 2.5 years later, we have more than 200 animals: chickens, ducks, quail, rabbits, sheep, goats, 2 dogs, and lots of cats. But we had to learn how to do all of that. We had to learn how to take care of all these animals. It took a lot of research, a lot of YouTube videos, and the homesteading groups on Facebook have also been really helpful. But there have been many times when we felt overwhelmed, inadequate. We've experienced animal sicknesses, animal death. We have felt fatigued, stressed, often. But we have also experienced some of the greatest joy, satisfaction, fulfillment, and even fun running this homestead. So even during the hardest moments, neither of us ever considered throwing in the towel and moving back to the city. We really love this life, and we wouldn't trade it for anything. I know a lot of people watch these homestead channels because they also dream of becoming homesteaders. And if that's you, I want to encourage you that it is a reachable dream. Craig and I are older. He's 62, I'm 56, and we're out there every day making it happen. And we're not rich. We're just really hard workers, and we've done all this on only 3.5 acres. We started off with 7 chickens and a big empty field. Now, it is a physically challenging life, but it is a rewarding life. And if you dream of becoming a homesteader and you're fairly healthy and willing to work hard, you can do this. Don't be afraid to make your homesteading dreams happen. It just takes one step at a time. And all dreams begin with that first step. You just have to take it. See you next time. Real quick, Blue here. I want to tell you about my podcast channel, Join Hands with Heaven, where I talk about how to live in freedom and victory of Jesus Christ. And if that's something you're interested in, please check it out. I'll link to it under the video. Peace.